Pretty much every organization I talk to has some big strategic initiative that's super important. But if you roll the clock back a year, they were talking about the same thing, and they haven't made any progress on it in the past year. So why is this so hard? I discovered there are 5 things that block action. The first one is talking versus doing. Companies can get really very practiced about talking about their strategy. And they talk about things like entering a new market or transforming their sales force and selling at a higher level and more strategically, or getting better at executing and delivering on time more predictably. The problem with these kinds of goals is that they don't tell you what you need to do when you get to work in the morning. And so what I found is that you need to translate those very exciting, motivating, high-level goals into much more mundane, concrete tasks and actions that specific people need to take tomorrow, this month, this quarter, next quarter, the quarter after that. And only when you get really super clear and concrete about what the actual tasks are that are going to drive the action are you going to start making progress on your strategy. The second point is that people don't actually agree. And when you drive such clarity, it exposes disagreements. And I know I used to think that when my staff were all sitting around the table nodding their heads, that was a good sign and we were going to go do it now. And I came to realize that not only was that not a good sign, that was actually a red flag, because people nodding their heads does not mean they agree. Mostly it means, I think I'm going to get out of this meeting sooner if I nod my head. And so what you need to do is to really figure out how to drive that agreement. And what I would do is I would go around the room and to a person, I'd make everyone articulate the new decision in their own words and talk about how they're going to tell it to their team and what they are going to do differently as a result of this decision. And that would get us to having more actual agreement instead of just nodding heads. And this brings me to my third point, which is resources. If you want to do new things, you have to move resources. And moving resources is really hard, and it's one of the biggest things that people disagree about. Your strategy is where you put your resources. And so you need to ensure that you put the right resources on the new tasks and things that you need to get done. And never, ever expect your staff to do this offline and cooperate behind the scenes to move resources around. It will never happen. You need to drive the resource decisions top down in the light of day with the whole staff and make those assignments really clear up front, or else those resource shifts are never going to happen. The fourth point is just being too busy. Organizations are so busy that there's no time to do new stuff. And the way I always think about this is that a $200 million organization has trouble getting to be a $1 billion organization because they're too busy being a $200 million organization. And so you have to break that busyness cycle, and you have to do different things. And it's really important to give your leaders the tools that they need to make their own judgments about how to stick to the strategic initiatives when the urgent customer crisis comes up, when the big new opportunity comes up. People have to learn how to deal with that and how to make sure that they are not taking too much effort off the long-term strategic endeavor. Otherwise, you never get there, and you just stay a $200 million company that's really busy. The last point is about the people. And so many times the strategy discussions stay in the boardroom or stay at the executive level. And that's a real problem because the people who need to do the work don't know what they're supposed to do, or they don't believe that you're really serious about the new thing. And so it's really important to not only engage the rest of the managers in your organization and the individuals and the people doing the work, but also give them the tools and give them the skills so that they can personally lead the change as well. So that you get every manager and every individual in your organization personally leading and driving the change that you need to make. If you'd like more information on this, you can go to my website at azzarellogroup.com and you can download a free ebook that's called Strategy into Action, or you can contact me and we can talk about it.